Hi and welcome everyone. Morning stretching while trying to learn the key data of Belfast Citie Haw in Belfast in Northern Ireland. The exercises are adjusted for me, so if you follow along with the exercises, do it at your own pace and it's also at your own risk. So Belfast Citie Haw is in Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is here. Here's Europe, there's the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So there's Northern Ireland, and in Northern Ireland there's the city Belfast, and in this city there is this Belfast Citie Haw, or named in Irish Halla, Cathrach, Bheal, Feirste, or in Ulster Scots Belfast Citie Haw. Belfast Citie Haw. In Ulster Scots was it Belfast Citie Haw. In English, Belfast Citie Haw. The first exercise. The feet are more than shoulder width apart and pointing a bit to the outside. We breathe in, and we breathe always in through the nose and out through the mouth. So breathe in through the nose, go down and up, and breathe out through the mouth. And breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again in through the nose and out. The in and out. Again in and out. In and out. In and out. The last time. In. Close the legs and down. So the Belfast Citie Haw. And the location. It is in Belfast, which is in Northern Ireland. And the next thing is the construction start. The construction start was in 1898. And it was completed in 1906, 8 years later. Construction start 1898 and completed 8 years later in 1906. When next exercise, the feet are almost shoulder width apart. You breathe in and bring the arms up and out and go to the side. And now breathe in and open the ribcage. And again out. And again in, out, back into the middle, and breathe again in, out to the side, and breathe again in, open the ribcage, out, and breathe again in, and back into the middle. Pardon me for a moment. So, Belfast Citie Haw in Northern Ireland, and the construction start was in 1898 and completed in 1906. And it was renovated in 2009. And it was also during the Second World War. There was a roof destroyed for bombings, and that was also rebuilt once. So renovated in 2009, but there was also a time when the roof was destroyed during war and then rebuilt. And it's 53 meters high. So the dome in the middle is 53 meters high. The next exercise. Breathe in and out and go down with a hand to one leg, and the other shoulder stays down. And then breathe in. And out and take the arm and go over. And then breathe again in. And open the ribcage. Out. Back into the middle. And now to the other side. Breathe in. And slide down with one hand, and the other shoulder stays down. And breathe out. And breathe in. And out. The arm comes out. Breathe again in, open the ribcage, and out, back into the middle. The Belfast Citie Haw is in Northern Ireland, in Belfast, Northern Ireland, The construction start was in 1898. It was completed in 1906. There was a renovation in 2009, but once the roof was destroyed, and this roof was also once rebuilt. And the dome in the middle is 53 meters high. The next thing, the architectural style is Baroque revival. And the materials used are Portland stone, Carrara marble, Pavonazzo marble, and Brescia marble. So it's built out of Portland stone and types of marble. Now the feet are together, and we breathe in and bring the hands up, and then out and bring one hand down. And then breathe in and reach to the ends. And out and up. And breathe again in. And out, go down. To the other side. And then breathe in and reach to the both ends. And out. Portland stone is a white stone, and this marble types are also white, so the tower building is quite white. And the next thing is that there are a bunch of memorials, but first let's go into the next exercise. The feet are more than shoulder width apart. We breathe in and count down and breathe out. So now every time we breathe in through the nose, we expand the lungs and therewith expand the muscles from the inside. So we breathe deep in into the lungs and more into the chest than into the tummy. We breathe deep in into the chest and stretch all the muscles of the back from the inside. So breathe deep in into the chest and out through the mouth. Breathe deep in into the chest and out. And breathe again in. And now out to one leg. And breathe again in. And out. And again in. And out, back to the middle and then to the other leg. And breathe in. And out. And again in. And out, back into the middle. And breathe deep in. And come slowly up with a round back. Stack vertebrae one at a time over each other and big backwards shoulder round at the top. The Belfast Citie Haw is in Belfast in Northern Ireland. It was built from 1898 until 1906. There was a renovation in 2009, and things which were destroyed during the Second World War were then rebuilt. It is built out of marble, Portland stone, and with a lot of marble. And the roof down is 53 meters high. And it's in the style of Baroque revival. Baroque revival is a style which is very decorative. So it's not only made out of marble and Portland stone or white stone, but there are also a lot of very fine built things. There are a lot of statues and ornaments, and it's very decorative and a lot of geometrical figures and so on. Now the memorial and statues. So there's a statue for Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria was Queen of the United Kingdom from 1837 until 1901. And there's a statue, a memorial for Sir Edward Harland. Sir Edward Harland was big in the shipping industry in the 19th century, in the Irish shipping industry. And a memorial for the Royal Mail ship Titanic. The Titanic was a ship traveling from the United Kingdom to the United States, but it hit an iceberg and sank in 1912 with a lot of deaths. And there's a memorial for this ship and the deaths. Then there's the Garden of Remembrance and Cenotaph for troops of Ireland who have died during the war. and a granite column dedicated the American Expeditionary Force. The American Expeditionary Force was during 1943. I don't have that much time left. During 1943 in Belfast, before the landing in the D-Day. The D-Day was the day in which the Allied forces had landed in the Normandy, a beach in France, in Europe, and to liberate France from the occupation through Nazi Germany, which had 4 years earlier occupied Nazi. The D-Day was on the 6th June 1944, and this is the day, the D-Day, where the Allied countries, United States, United Kingdom, France, and also China, Soviet Union, and so on, landed there to liberate France, and then later all the other countries which were occupied by Nazi Germany during the Second World War. And then there is the statue in honor of George Best. George Best was a footballer of Manchester United. Manchester United is in England. And then there's the Imjin River Memorial. The Imjin River is a memorial to the four Irish troops died during the Korean War. The Korean War was 1949-53, I think, but this battle, the Battle of Cheongga-chan, I can't really pronounce it, was 1951. I don't have that much time left. And the Chinese and North Korean troops had pushed south, and these Irish troops, which are memoriated here, had helped to stop the advance of the North Korean and Chinese troops to give more time to evacuate Seoul, for the population to evacuate Seoul. And then there is Mary Ann Mccracken statue. Mary Ann Mccracken was advocating for equal rights for women, for education, also for poor children, and an abolitionist for slavery, against slavery. And Winifred Carney statue, who also fought for women's rights and took part in the Easter Rising from 1916. The Easter Rising 1916 was an armed insurrection against the British ruling in Ireland. So now let's go a bit on with the exercises. We enter the garden pose. So the feet pointing outwards, and we have two hands wide apart between the heels of the feet. The arms come up, we breathe in, and we go down. And the elbows come between the knees and press to the outsides. And then we breathe in, and we try to be as tall and as straight at the back as we can. And out, and we go back. And breathe in. And out. Back into the garden pose. And breathe again in. And out. And again in. And out. And now breathe in, and if you want and can do it without injuring yourself, you can come then up in one straight line, and let's slowly. Breathe in. And out. Slowly in one straight line. And a bit more. The Durban Citie Haw, built in 1910 in South Africa, looks almost the same, and the Port of Liverpool building, built in 1903, so before this Belfast Citie Haw was completed, built in Liverpool, which is in the United Kingdom. This one looks also the same. So the Durban Citie Haw and the Port of Liverpool building look very much the same. And on the 10, 20, 50 and 100 pound banknotes, which are issued by the Northern Bank, so not on all pound sterling banknotes, there is the pediment of a building printed. The pediment of a building is basically the roof. It's trianomicus, it's basically the roof. So the last exercise, because we're out of time, so breathe in and out, and in and out, and again in and out, and in, out, in and out, and again in and out, and in. Close the legs, and we are done with a short form of exercises. I don't have time to say it all again in once, but I hope even split it in parts. It's nice. I thank you very much for your attention and your participation in the exercise if you've done it. And until the next time.